You are sitting in the middle of a dead silent library or perhaps a super serious boardroom meeting where the tension is thick enough to cut with a butter knife. Suddenly, the person across from you opens their mouth wide enough to swallow a basketball and lets out a massive soul shaking yawn. You tell yourself that you are strong and that you are an independent thinker who controls your own facial muscles, but within 3 seconds, your own jaw is unhinging like a hungry python. You look like a pair of screaming gargoyles, and now the entire room is staring at you while the yawning virus spreads from desk to desk like a slow motion wave of destruction. This is the ultimate biological betrayal where your brain decides to copy a random stranger for absolutely no reason. Stick around until the very end because I am going to reveal a slightly terrifying scientific secret about why your ability to catch a yawn is actually a built in test for whether or not you have the personality of a cold blooded villain. This weird phenomenon is technically called occitancy, and it is not just your body being tired or bored out of its mind. Your brain is equipped with a very special set of neurons called mirror neurons, which act like a high speed internal camera. These little guys are located in the premotor cortex, and their entire job is to watch what other people are doing and then simulate those same actions in your own head. It is the same reason you might flinch when you see someone else get hit in a fail video, or why you start smiling when you see a baby laughing. When you see a yawn, your mirror neurons fire off a signal that says, "Hey, we are doing this now," and before you can even think about it, your motor system has already started the countdown for liftoff. Scientists used to think that yawning was just a way to get more oxygen into your blood, but that theory has been thoroughly debunked because people yawn just as much in oxygen rich rooms as they do in stuffy basements. The more modern and much cooler theory is that yawning is actually your brain's personal air conditioning system. When you inhale that big gulp of air, it cools down the blood vessels leading to your head and lowers the temperature of your gray matter. Your brain is basically a high performance computer that starts to glitch when it gets too hot, and the yawn is the fan kicking into high gear to keep your processors from melting. When you catch a yawn from someone else, your brain is essentially saying, if that guy is overheating, then I am probably about to overheat too, so let us just cool down together. This whole chain reaction is actually a primitive form of social Wi Fi that helps a group stay on the same wavelength. Back when we were roaming the plains in small tribes, it was vital for everyone to be alert or asleep at the same time to avoid getting snatched by a saber-toothed cat. When the leader of the group yawned, it served as a silent signal to the rest of the crew to synchronize their energy levels. Your brain is essentially participating in an ancient group chat where the only emoji available is a wide open mouth. This is why you are much more likely to catch a yawn from your best friend or your mom than you are from a complete stranger on the bus. Your mirror neurons are tuned into the people you actually care about, which creates a shared biological rhythm. Even your pets are plugged into this network because dogs have been proven to catch yawns from their owners as a way of showing social bonding. It is a sign of deep evolutionary empathy where your nervous system is literally vibrating in harmony with the creatures around you. However, there is a hilarious dark side to this because once the yawning starts, it is almost impossible to stop the momentum. Your brain enters a state of hypersuggestibility where just reading the word yawn or thinking about a giant gaping mouth can trigger the reflex. I bet at least half of you watching this right now have already yawned at least twice, and your brain is currently fighting the urge to do it again as I keep talking about it. This social mimicry is so powerful that it even bypasses your conscious will, which is why you can be in the middle of a high stakes job interview and still feel that jaw shattering urge. Your brain is prioritizing its ancient social software over your modern desire to look professional. It is like your internal operating system is running a background task that you cannot find the close button for. You are essentially a victim of a biological feedback loop that has been running for millions of years. This synchronization helped our ancestors survive by keeping the group coordinated, but in a modern office, it just makes you look like you stayed up too late playing video games. One of the most bizarre and slightly creepy facts about this phenomenon is that your susceptibility to the contagious yawn is actually a window into the inner workings of your soul. Research has shown that catching a yawn is directly linked to your levels of empathy and social awareness. People who score higher on empathy tests are significantly more likely to join in on a yawning session, while those who are more detached or struggle with social cues often remain totally unfazed. In fact, some studies have suggested that individuals with psychopathic traits are almost entirely immune to the contagious yawn because their brains do not feel the need to synchronize with the emotions or physical states of others. So, the next time you yawn back at a friend, you are actually proving that you are a functioning, empathetic human and not a cold blooded secret agent. To fight the urge to unhinge your jaw when it is socially inconvenient, you can try a few weird biological hacks like breathing through your nose or pressing a cold pack to your forehead. Since yawning is primarily about cooling your brain down, providing an alternative cooling method can sometimes convince your internal thermostat to cancel the request. You can also try looking away from the yawner or focusing on a complex mental task because distracting your prefrontal cortex can sometimes break the spell that your mirror neurons are trying to cast. But let's be honest, once the chain reaction starts, you are usually just a passenger in a vehicle driven by your primitive brain. Now, for that mind blowing secret about the true power of the yawn and why it is the ultimate honesty test, it turns out that contagious yawning is one of the few behaviors that crosses the species barrier between humans and their canine companions. Your dog is not just yawning because they are sleepy, but because they are so emotionally attuned to your stress levels and energy that their brain is literally mirroring yours to make you feel supported. You and your pup are essentially part of the same ancient survival pack, sharing a single biological frequency. It is the purest form of nonverbal communication that exists on the planet, and it happens entirely without you realizing it. If you enjoyed learning why your brain is a copycat and why your dog is your emotional twin, then make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment below telling us the most awkward place you have ever started a yawning chain reaction, and let us know what other bodily glitches you want us to investigate.